Welcome back to Mindi and the Mic from Stigma to Connection. And welcome back, guys. I know it's been a long time, more like a month or two. I was currently on hiatus for my podcast because I was studying for my NCE and I passed that. Thank goodness. So I'll be able to see potentially more people out of state for counseling. And I was on vacation too. So I took a couple weeks off for the podcast, but now we're back. In this episode, I sit down with Joy, who's a friend, a friend that from church. She is a woman whose life's journey is filled with resilience, transformation, and hope. From navigating real personal struggles and questions of identity to embrace a life of faith and becoming a Christian, Joy's story is both powerful and deeply human. This episode does talk about mentions of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, self-harm, and witchcraft. And if you feel uncomfortable with any of these topics, I encourage you to pause this episode and just listen to another one. While we do talk about Joy's Christian faith, this episode is for everyone, no matter what your background is or your beliefs. We believe in the themes of growth, belonging, and mental health that can resonate for anyone. We explore the lessons she's learned on the way and the importance of finding community and making friends, and how to approach mental health and loneliness with compassion and honesty. Whether you're seeking encouragement, curious about personal transformation, or looking for ways to navigate your own seasons of change or depression, this conversation will leave you feeling understood and inspired. So let's dive in. I'm Mindi, and I have a microphone. So this must be Mindi and the Mic from Stigma to Connection. Let's have a conversation. Welcome back to Mindi and the Mic from Stigma to Connection. Today, I have a wonderful guest with me. And what's your name?
My name is Joy. It's not that funny.
I had like this cool intro in my head, and then I realized that I actually do that part by myself. So I actually don't introduce you at this part. But Joy, it's great to have you on my podcast.
It's great to be here.
How are you today? Currently when we're recording, it's Friday. So it's technically the weekend, but it's your birthday 2 days ago.
Yesterday. Right? It was Thursday.
Yeah. How was it? Or how is it? How's it going?
It's been pretty good. It's been really busy. I think I'm going to take a break tomorrow.
Yeah.
Slow morning tomorrow. Slow day.
Just rapid fire, like party after party after party.
Pretty much. Yeah. A lot of people.
How old are you?
27.
27. Wow, we're old. I am 27, so you're not that old.
Everyone keeps calling me old. In my family, I'm the oldest. So.
Oh, okay. How many siblings?
I have 4 younger siblings.
4 siblings. So it goes you and then your brother?
Yeah, it's me, then my brother Jordan, and then there's a set of twins, Logan and Faith, and then there's my youngest brother, Jacob.
Wow, and so you are the oldest, the fun one.
There's only 7 years between me and Jacob.
Are you a rule follower?
No.
No.
Yes and no. I like rules when I feel like they are for the better good. When I feel like they don't have any good purpose or there's no good reason behind it, I'm not following it.
I gotcha. I'm an only child / youngest child, so I'm not a real follower.
Yeah, I like to put rules in place, but I don't like it when I don't feel like there's a good reason to enforce those.
Correct. So today I actually wanted Joy to be on my podcast because we actually got to know each other through a very kind of not really unique circumstance, but we go to the same church and we both kind of knew of each other beforehand. We were in the same small group, but we didn't actually get close until recently because now we're actually in the same Bible study, which is confusing because at our church, there's a small group where like girls and guys meet together. There's like 20, 25 of us. And then we kind of go into smaller groups, which we call them huddles, but for just reference sake, I'll say Bible study. And then we were recently placed in the same Bible study, but I actually got to know you. Like, I remember the first time I talked to you was actually through texting, I think.
Yes, it was very, very interesting.
Because her roommate and I were actually in a different Bible study at that time, and me and her roommate were going to go get coffee or hang out, but then I realized I scheduled with her the wrong date, and so I was like, oh no, like, we're supposed to meet tomorrow, but I cannot meet tomorrow because I'm out of town. So I tried texting her, I tried calling her, but her roommate, she goes to bed pretty early.
Yeah, sometimes 8 p.m. The latest I've ever seen her up is like 10.
Yeah, so pretty early. And I was like, shoot. But then for some reason, I had it in my head that I'm pretty sure Joy said at small group one time that she stays up late. So I had your number because we all like had our numbers from like a big girls get together or something like that. And so I had the grand idea to be like, okay, I'm going to text Joy, and then that way she can get the message to her roommate that I cannot meet tomorrow. So here I am. I text Joy, but we really haven't talked in person really at all. And I was like, hey Joy, how are you? And I was like, can you do me a favor? And I was like, could you please, again, help me do this errand of telling your roommate in the morning that I cannot meet up with her?
Yeah, because interestingly enough, I go to bed like 2 a.m. and I get up around like 5 or 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I think you guys were meeting like 7 a.m. and I was like, yeah, well, I'll be up so I can tell her.
Yeah, and it's ironic because I don't think we really had like a one-on-one personal how are you conversation except seeing each other at small group passing by.
No, I'm pretty sure like when I saw Alexandra, my roommate, I was like, hey, so Mindi, who I've like never talked to ever, texted me last night and wanted to let you know that she can't meet. And Alexandra was like, well, I saw the text, but why is she texting you? And I was like, I have no idea.
I was texting you because I was like, I need this message to get urgently to your roommate. And like the only way that I can possibly do that is through you, who I knew that was going to be awake.
Yes.
And so the mission was accomplished because the message was given, but
yes.
A lot of confusion transpired from there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one does. But anyway.
And then we didn't talk over text for the next like 2 months.
Yes. That is true. But then fate has it that we are now in the same Bible study or the same smaller group.
Yes.
Without we really gotten to know each other for the past probably has it been 2 months now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And Joy, you probably know this. Your story is really, really just interesting. But at the same time, like I think a lot of listeners can actually like benefit from hearing just what you're willing to share, just about what you shared in our small group, whatever you feel comfortable sharing too. Like obviously you don't have to flare out everything on the internet. But I just kind of wanted to have you on just to really talk about some of the real things that you've been through, and also talk about like how you've grown and how you can look back and say like, wow, like you've overcome a lot.
Yeah, if my story can help anyone, I'm willing to share it.
And this might be a hot take for those who are listening. Sometimes in the Christian culture, we tend to be kind of like put together. We like to have a facade.
Yeah. Which was one of my reasons that I didn't like Christians for a very long time, is I was just like, all these people have it together and they're so annoyingly perfect. And I couldn't stand it. I was like, I am not perfect. My past is messy. And I was like, no, I can't be around people whose lives are seemingly perfect. So this was the first time when I came to a church where it didn't seem like everyone had it put together. And I was finally like, okay, these people are real and they're having real life and I can be a mess and still be accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like I said on this podcast before, I technically, like, I do classify myself as a Christian, but also this podcast is for anyone with different beliefs and different values. So we're not saying that Christianity is like the best religion out there ever. Like, I'm just trying to shy away from that too. So I think though it's just interesting because of that perspective of like, oh, people think that Christians are perfect, or oh, people think Christians are, you know, they have this perfect nuclear family that goes to church every Sunday and they all like they all, I don't know, live perfect lives. I think I just really connected with you because I did not grow up that way either. Like I did not grow up in a Christian family. I did not grow up in an environment that really was perfect.
Oh no, what's crazy is all of my family's Christian.
Yeah.
It is a Christian family. I just wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about, just as we start, what was your childhood like growing up?
Well, growing up, so I have 4 younger siblings, like I said earlier, and there's only 7 years between me and my youngest brother. So like we were all pretty close growing up. But when I got to middle school, I started to like have some real struggles with like friends.
Yeah.
And I got into like self-harm and music that wasn't uplifting. And I started just feel really depressed and started struggling with my mental health. I got diagnosed with depression when I was in middle school. Later, they found out it was actually bipolar. And so by treating it with depression medication, it got worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, growing up, I grew up in a Christian home, but I did not have the whole Christian experience. I tried to shy away from that. I didn't want to be a part of the Christian realm because, like you said, it's very perfect. Everyone's perfect. And I was like, my life's not perfect. I'm struggling. People kind of suck. So it was just, I went through a lot of like self-harm, depression. I did attempt suicide a few times.
Yeah.
Not just in middle school and high school, but yeah.
Yeah. And did you have a lot of friends growing up then? Well, who was your social support network beyond your family?
So I made my friends more of a priority than ever my family. So
Okay.
yeah, my friends weren't great. They wanted me to like cut, and in order to fit in and feel accepted, I would cut and I would be depressed with them. And yeah, it was like a lot of bad friendships. So I feel like a lot of my friends had a lot of issues with fully accepting who I was. And so I would always be the chameleon and just fit in. I every single time I didn't have friends, it was because I, didn't fit in anymore, and usually they would betray me or backstab me. So I had a lot of that. I think I had one major friend group when I was in elementary school, but I also changed schools 11 times. So, friend groups change a lot when you're in schools and changing them. And then I had one in middle school, one friend group there, and then I had one or two in high school, and then I've had 3 or 4 since then, since being an adult. So,
yeah. And I think when you're in a state of just feeling depressed and probably lonely, I don't want to put words in your mouth on your experiences, but that probably just drives you a place of just like, where do I go and what do I do even? Or
yeah, I wanted to just be accepted by anyone, and I was willing to pretty much change myself.
Finding purpose even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a part of something.
Yeah, and that lasted, what would you say, how long were you depressed for, would you say?
Well, probably 13 years. I didn't really like get better mental health until like turned 26.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's been better the last 2 years, but it's been phenomenally better like
the past year.
Yeah.
What changed?
I became a Christian, and for me that helped just because I found purpose in something that wasn't humans. I feel like if you look for purpose in other people, they're always going to let you down just because we're not perfect. We're not going to ever be able to fully support someone else because we have to support ourselves too.
Right.
So, and you can't do that. So it's just really hard to have friends be the main purpose to live.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's so many ways I could take this, but what are some things that you put your identity in then that wasn't obviously God? And when what you said you put your identity in people, like what routes did that lead you to go down?
I feel like in middle school, it was like being part of, technically the emo goth kids.
Right.
Yeah, there was that identity. Before that, it was just being the person that everyone could come to. And I feel like that's kind of usually who I become, is just whoever everyone can come to and trust. That's what I want to be, is just a safe place for everyone. And I don't feel like that part has much changed. But as an adult, one of my friend groups became witches, and I became a witch. One group was cosplayers, so I cosplayed for like 3-4 years. Alcohol. I became an alcoholic because that's what people around me were doing. Yeah.
So was a lot of your phases then based upon what other people were doing?
Based upon what my friends were doing. Yeah, who I wanted to be accepted by, because I don't know if you can call people that you just looked for identity in friends.
Yeah.
They backstabbed me all the time. So it was really hard, but I grew from it.
Yeah. And then with witchcraft, what did that look like?
For me, it was a lot of like tarot cards.
Okay.
And being like, you would meditate. We did some spells, we did some curses. can't recommend. Cursing other people does not help you in any way. It was like revenge cursing. I'm like, that person sucks. I'm gonna make their life awful. No, wouldn't recommend that. Tarot readings, they weren't great either, because like when you would do them, you're like, okay, so I'm gonna look for this and I'm gonna look for this in my day, and I'm gonna make sure that I have this, and this happen. And so they basically set my day. So if I had a tarot card reading in the morning that said my day was gonna be bad, my day was bad because I already had a preconceived notion that it was gonna be awful.
Yeah.
So
yeah. When did you feel like that witchcraft or being a witch wasn't for you?
Doing witchcraft wasn't great. Even doing it, it was cool to see the power in it. That was the entertaining part, is just having the power and seeing power. But never really great. But when I left South Dakota, because I did all of my witchcraft stuff while I was in South Dakota, pretty much. When I came back, I stopped. I ran out of money. It was 2020, and I moved to South Dakota. And then when I came back,
COVID?
Yeah, it was awful. And like my job was awful, and they just couldn't, couldn't pay everyone because, it was COVID. So I moved back to Omaha.
What did your family think about all this?
So fun story. When I moved to South Dakota, I was in a really bad mental state.
Yeah.
We had just hit COVID in March, and so we were all in like isolation, and our jobs were like now much less people oriented. And I'm a very, I need people to get better, and I like to have purpose.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I had purpose during COVID. So I had a really big struggle. And then my brother is not great at communication. And at the time I was living with him because he had a house. So I decided that I was not having a good time, and I was going to move to South Dakota with some friends that I had recently reconnected with.
Yeah.
And I was going up to South Dakota every other day for like 2 weeks before I was like, I'm moving. I didn't tell my family.
Oh.
They thought I was kidnapped. My parents freaked out. And not only did I move on picture day, not tell them that I was not coming to
Family
photos.
picture day?
Family picture day. I moved on family picture day. I left Nebraska without telling them. Like, I moved all of my stuff out of my brother's house because guess what? Jordan, my brother, was at picture day. And so we drove up to South Dakota. My parents are like calling me consistently over and over again. And not only that, I changed my phone number. So
Joy, you did a lot in this whole week.
I did so much. I ignored their phone calls until finally they got a hold of someone else in one of my friends. They finally got a hold of one of them, and we're like, yeah, so you have to put her on the phone. Like, we don't care if we don't get connection with her right now. We literally just want to make sure that we don't need to go to the police and report her missing.
Yeah.
And so they had almost put a missing person report on me. Because I didn't tell them. I left on family picture day. So my family was not happy.
Yeah.
But they were glad that I wasn't kidnapped.
Yeah. Wow. So this was before you went back to South Dakota?
This is when I was going to South Dakota.
You were going
I
to South
moved
Dakota?
from Nebraska to South Dakota, and then I did more witchcraft in South Dakota, and then I moved back in 2021, which was still during COVID. Yeah.
And then how was that transition?
Moving back was because I ran out of money and I was not happy. I was like anti-family, still not happy with them.
Because the witchcraft was not fulfilling you. Your friends were not fulfilling you.
They backstabbed me. Yeah. They stole from me. My roommate that I ended up moving out with ended up stealing from me a lot of money.
Oh gosh.
And a lot of my stuff. I got back some of my stuff, but I didn't get back most of it. They also got me fired from one of my jobs in South Dakota.
What?
Yeah, so we would typically work the same shift because they didn't have cameras back in the kitchen. They just fired both of us. And they were like, well, it's also because we can't afford to have everyone here, but we're also kind of firing you. Fun things.
Kind of awful.
Yeah, I'm no longer friends with any of those people.
I
haven't talked to them since 2021.
It's probably the healthiest thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, also they're all still practicing witches.
Oh, even to this day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Just not me.
Yeah.
I burned my tarot cards. I got rid of them.
Yeah, so you came back in 2022 and then
2021.
2021, and now it's 2025. There's a 4-year gap. What were you doing then?
Being depressed. Yeah, finding myself. I moved back in with my parents. So I have a problem with addiction, and it's always just kind of been my personality is to have more like addiction tendencies.
Yeah.
So like I get addicted to things and then I kind of like stick with it for a while. For me right now, it's like books, but it's not an unhealthy addiction. I was addicted to stealing money from my parents, so they kicked me out.
Okay.
But it's okay because I became a Christian, and then they ended up letting me actually stay until I moved out. And I moved out on my own for a year, and then I moved in with Alexandra.
So, okay, how did you, this whole process though, how did you become a Christian? Did you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm bored?
No. So I had absolutely no friends after coming back in 2021.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually start going to Providence until like 2023.
Okay.
But I was so depressed and not doing well that my brother kept telling me about this church. He's like, this one was Jordan, so he's 25 right now.
The one that you lived with?
Yeah. Yeah, that one. He was like, I know this church. It's Providence. It's an amazing church. I've never found anything like it. Best community I've ever had. And I was like, okay, stop telling me how great this church is. Yeah. I'm so annoyed. I was like, I'll go one time. One time, if you shut up about it and never talk to me about it again.
Right.
So I said, okay. And I went one time. And then that one time turned into the rest of my life. And yeah, so I went and I wanted to show that I was, trying to actually be there. So I was like, oh, introduce me to a small group. Okay. And they introduced me to Amy Nelson. I know she's been on your podcast before.
Shout out, Amy.
Yeah, shout out. So he introduced me to her, and I was like, okay, it's tonight. Oh, crap. I don't have time to talk myself out of going because she was like, I'm excited to see you tonight. And I was like, gosh, dang it, Amy. You're making me come. So I went. I do not like failing people or feeling like I haven't done well enough. So I was like, I'll go. And I have no friends. So why not? I'll have a community, I guess. And then I showed up and Alexandra was like, you're going to be my best friend. And I was like, well, gosh, dang it. Extroverts pretty much have to, claim me as their friend. So yeah, I just ended up continuing to go. And then in June, I got in a major car crash. And I kept having a dream after that car crash of God in between the cars and just saving me because I hit head on at 60 miles per hour. I fell asleep. And yeah, after that, it was in August that I officially became a Christian, but I was questioning my religion up until that point. So yeah, I became a Christian, I think August 14th, and then I got baptized the following year in March.
Sweet. And then you've been going to like mental health providers since then too?
No, but I've been going to school to become one.
Yeah, because you're going to become a therapist, right? That's the dream?
That is the goal. I want to help with addiction therapy.
Yeah, just because of all the experiences that you've been through?
Yeah. I had an alcohol addiction for, I want to say like 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. So yeah. I got into some other drugs, but nothing as bad as, like, my addictions weren't as bad as alcohol. That alcohol addiction was the worst one I ever went through.
Yeah. Would you say that you wanted to become a therapist, like, after you became a Christian or before you became a Christian?
I've wanted to be a therapist since I was in 8th grade.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, we have different stories. I did not know that about you, actually.
I love helping people. That does actually give me life, and I feel like purpose. I have purpose. So I've always loved that. Yeah, and I think when I was in middle school and I was struggling, I was like, I hate this. I want other people to help. And I had so many terrible therapists.
That makes sense.
So then I was like, I want to be a therapist and be better than all of these people. Because I went to multiple. One of them literally told me I was crazy. It was just like, half of the things that you're going through are all made up and in your head. Like, yes, they're in my head. That doesn't make them any less real.
Yeah.
Like, my struggles and my feelings are real.
Yeah.
So.
It's unfortunate because as a therapist, I hear so many clients talk about how like they had previous therapists that actually caused them trauma. So
Yes.
you included, I'm assuming.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Some of my worst were Christian ones.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate because, like, obviously, I don't want to defend them and say, like, oh, they're human beings, give them grace. But at the same time, like, we are called to be empathetic, not just as therapists, but just as human beings. We're called to be empathetic toward each other and to understand, like, hey, if you're going through something, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, and telling someone else they're crazy and that it's not real and that they should literally just get over it. There's no purpose to it.
Yeah, that probably helped your mental health great.
Oh, wonderfully. I was doing fantastic after that.
Yeah, so you've probably learned a lot, right?
Yes.
If you couldn't tell me a few things, what have you learned just throughout a glimpse of your story, just about mental health, going to become a witch, coming back, stealing, addiction, church? Like, what have you learned?
Don't put your identity in other humans.
Yeah.
Addiction is really difficult to get out of, but there is a way to get out of it. For me, it was best if I just did it cold turkey and just turned away from it and stopped doing it completely and stopped thinking of it as an option. Because I feel like if we give ourselves too much grace for it and we say, well, I'll quit after this cigarette pack, you're not quitting. You're just giving yourself more time to talk yourself out of it.
Right.
And I was addicted to nicotine for years. So for me, it was actually easier to just throw it away. Like if you're going to do something, commit fully to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that just the stuff that you learned about addiction too has you more empathy or less empathy for people who are going through it too?
I think both.
Okay.
Because I feel like the people who actually want to get out of it, I have more empathy for.
Yeah.
The people who say it and have no actions to back it up, I have no empathy then. Because I want to see growth. I think also my job makes it harder for me. I currently have a job that helps people with disabilities, and I see a lot of the worst sides, and I get a lot of people who come in and they're like, I'm a victim and everyone owes me everything. And then they're like, you should just give this to me for free and I shouldn't have to work to get anything done. And basically they want you to do everything for them. So I find it hard with my life experiences to just be fully empathetic towards people that don't deserve it, in my opinion.
Right.
If you're not trying, then you're not going to get any empathy from me.
Because you can be all talk with anything. Like you could say like, even in the good way, in the best way possible, you could say, oh, I want to do this. I want to run a marathon. I want to climb a mountain. But if you don't do anything actively to pursue that goal and to get those objectives done, then it's just words at that point. There's no action to back it up.
Yeah, set small goals. Like you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to run a marathon. Okay, go running for 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like as long as you get started on that goal, and make sure to have small goals. Like for me, if you have a big goal and you expect yourself to just get there immediately, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And then you're going to feel bad about it. And it's not because you're bad at something. It's just because you set too big of a goal. So set small ones for your big goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Good advice. I kind of want to transition a bit, and I'm totally going off script with some of the questions I had pre-planned. But just talking about the beginning, we talked about Christianity and that facade that you and I both faced. What helped you kind of break through that stigma or break through that barrier?
When I went to Providence, the church itself was fine. The sermon was fine. But when I went to the small group, these people there were willing to talk about how they failed that week. And I can't remember exactly what we were going over, but we were talking about our failures. And people were willing to fail and willing to share that with other people. And just seeing people who like were actually living life and they didn't have it all put together, that helped me a lot. Just like having people who were real.
Yeah. And just seeing people be vulnerable.
Yeah. It wasn't like these people were like living in their failures or their like disappointments, they were like, well, this is how I did bad, but they had so much hope for their future. And just seeing them have like hope was so much to me. It meant so much because I was like, well, right now I've got the other part down, but I have absolutely no hope. So getting to see that all of these people were like, yeah, I didn't do this so well this week, and I didn't do this so well this week, and this is how I'm struggling. But, there's always next week. Next week's going to be better because I have God, and I have my community, and my community is going to help me. So,
yeah. I've been through a lot of Christian contexts. So I grew up in Christian school. I grew up in a Christian quotations in a home. My dad wasn't a Christian. My mom was. And I went to Christian college. And I can agree with you that just something is labeled Christian doesn't mean you're going to find those people there.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have to weave through the people to find which ones you can call your people too.
Yeah, and you have to remember that no one's perfect. No human is ever perfect.
Yeah.
So no church is perfect ever. And I had a lot of church hurt. So I went to a lot of churches that were like not helpful for me. Like they were very painful. And it's also sometimes just our view of it. It's how we see it and how we interpret it.
Yeah.
Which it can also just be, your viewpoint is wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not, like you can work through that. But yeah, you can't expect every person to be perfect, and anyone who says they are, they're wrong.
Yeah, and I think I had to learn that too the hard way because I've had a lot of church hurt too, or people that let me down, and then just kind of coming at it from not a black and white perspective, like, oh, like these all Christians are going to be the best part ever of my life, or versus like all Christians are just awful human beings. Like just coming to a middle ground of like noticing like we are human beings that we're in need of a God that can love us, and we also need each other. And that means that we will fail each other because we are finite beings.
Yeah, and the word always and never and everyone and all is very dangerous to tack on to anybody.
Right.
Because like, no, that's not true. Like you're not always going to fail, and people are not always awful, and people are like not always going to blank any, like you can't just put an always or never on anyone, a whole group, because every person is an individual.
And people can disagree with me theologically if they want after this podcast, but I think that God shows up to people in so many different ways too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can put God in a box.
No, you can't.
Like that's where we go wrong, is when we put God in a box and say, this is what God is capable of. Like throughout the Bible, he does a whole lot of things, and you can't just say that those are the only things he's ever going to do.
Yeah, it drives me crazy too, because then people are like, oh, that was like in biblical times. Now, God is so different now in these modern ages. Like, he only shows up in the Bible. And it's like, okay, but also he uses people. He uses the world. He uses scripture. He uses just anything, the Holy Spirit. So
yeah. I mean, there is a difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and some of the laws and things that changed there. So you can't expect the only things that happened would be in the Bible. Also, our times have changed.
Right.
I don't think God changes, but our times change.
Yeah. I could do a whole nother podcast episode about things that people can just misconstrue about Christianity. But at the same time, it's both. Like, I do understand there are people who are actually hurt by other Christians because we're human beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this saying that I enjoy. There's no good reason for it. It's just a verse taken out of context can back up anything.
Yep.
So you can do anything with a verse taken out of context. You could start a war. You could kill someone with a verse taken out of context.
Yeah. Sidetrack on that one. Like, I think there's a Netflix series called Keep Sweet. And it's that Mormon series.
Oh, I don't know Netflix.
Okay.
I know books.
But
if it's turned into a book, I got you.
But it's not even Christian, it's Mormon. But so they use the Bible verse Ephesians 5 and talks about like husbands submitting wives submitting to their husbands. And the whole series is about like this Mormon leader like abusing little kids. And just like you said, an example of that, that's like awful. It's dehumanizing. It's wicked. That's not what God wants for people.
No, you have to see the character of God throughout the entire Bible and go, okay, well, that verse taken out of context, sure.
Yeah.
But God, no, he would never. He would never say you can go kill everybody.
No.
That's not God.
No. And I do think, though, if people are claiming that, they need to go get help. Like, seriously, like some professional help, whether that's from a pastor, whether that's from a therapist, whether that's even from someone that can provide them medical help, too. Because at that point, they could be considered delusional, too.
Yes. Yeah. I was delusional for a while.
Yeah, but I guess looking back now, is there anything that you would say that you're proud of? Just the growth that you've been through?
Oh boy. I feel like I'm proud of the fact that I've learned from a lot of my things, and I've gone back and like healed a lot of the memories and seen where God is in the memories. Because even though some of my memories are bad, God was still there and he can redeem them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm proud of anything I did. I'm proud of what God did in my life.
Yeah, what are you excited for, being a part of Providence or being a part of just a church in general?
Well, I am trying to get certified in this certain type of like help. It's not counseling because it doesn't have a degree.
Yeah.
This part doesn't, but it's helping people emotionally heal their memories.
Nice.
Which is basically just going back to the memory and seeing where God was in the memory. So I'm trying to get a certification in that, and I'll probably help. I'll probably do it with Providence Church.
Awesome.
So
yeah. Providence Church is the church that me and Joy both attend. It's located in Omaha, Nebraska. They absolutely do not sponsor this podcast in any way or shape or form, but I just want to say...
How many times have you had to say that?
But I wanted to say, too, that we absolutely love the church. I have a very similar experience to Joy, just with the church. It's just like being real people, and it didn't feel like I had to be someone that I wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, for the first time in a church for me.
Yeah, this is just, we're going off script, but like I loved it that I could just like walk up to Amy's house and be like, hey, I'm Mindi. I don't know any of you, but it's nice to meet you. I'm just looking for community. And right away, people are like, hey, who are you? Tell me your story.
Yeah. I feel like in our church, it's very much the whole, like, if someone walks through the door, make sure that they don't leave without a friend.
Yeah.
And make sure that when they leave, they have one person that they're going to be hanging out with that week, or they've gotten multiple phone numbers. And I felt like city groups are really good about that. They'll at least get your phone number and be like, I'll reach out to you this week and we'll hang out sometime. So very good about building friendships.
Yeah. In America too, we're just kind of known for being a lonely country. And so that's not normal.
Yeah. It's all about individualism.
Yeah. It's not normal for you to like make friends when you're adults.
I know there's that whole stigma where it's like you can't make friends as an adult. And I'm like, it's hard, but it's doable. I went from 0 friends to having like, I don't know, 15, which is a lot for an introvert, but you know, keeping up with them all.
I was telling someone the other day, I was like, yeah, in college I had a lot of friends. And then before I went to Providence, I had like maybe 1 or 2 consistent friends, but they were from college. I didn't make them organically, you know, at the bar, or going downtown, walking by myself. And then I went to Providence, and now I have like 5 new solid friends that I hang out with consistently, and consistently keep making more friends too.
Yeah, it's weird because like we all have like our workplaces, but we're also kind of like not told to be friends with our coworkers. It's very much, well, they're your coworkers, so you can't trust them fully. It's also really hard for me because I work with one other person.
Yeah.
And she's only there 30% of the time. So
and it's
most of mine are clients then.
It's just like a culture thing too, especially in corporate America. Like we have these defined social roles for every person in our lives.
Yeah, you show up to work and you leave work, and then that's it.
And then you go home, and what do? You veg out on the couch, maybe you work out, and then you go to bed and repeat.
Read books. If you don't read books, you should.
I'll ask more of those questions on the rapid fire question section. Just to kind of head our way to the end, though, What advice would you give to anyone that's struggling with mental health and feeling lonely?
You're not alone in your mental health. So when you feel like no one else is struggling around you, maybe check in with those people too, because they're probably struggling. We're such an, like we said, individualist like country, and like that's really hard because we all think that we're suffering alone. You're not suffering alone. Go get help from a friend, a mentor, or professional help. And if you can't afford it, there are other things out there that will help you.
Yeah.
If you look up online, like things, there's it's called Find Help. There's literally a place where you can put in counselors that will meet with you for free.
Or even like people who struggle with more like financially, but still can manage like maybe $40, $50 a session compared to the insurance like $150, $200 a session. There's a website called openpath.com. Then they discount all therapists, those who are part of that network too.
Yeah, I work at a place where like nobody makes money.
Yeah.
All of my clients are like low income.
Yeah.
So I'm used to finding things that are like really
free,
really cheap or free. You can find an independent living advisor in your area that will help you, like me, that could help you find somewhere that you can get help for free.
Yeah, and I'll link all these websites that we mentioned in the bio too, so people can look them up if they need resources as well. You talked about how like you don't know if what people are actually going through. Well, I have a personal story with that. When I was growing up, I grew up an only child, and my parents have divorced. And so I was alone a lot. And so what I would do to like find community is at that time in high school, I would text my friends. And I didn't know at the time, but my friends, most of them had like nuclear families. Like they would go home and they had brothers and sisters. But by me texting them and just like reaching out because I was lonely looking for community, one of them actually came up to me later and they were like, "Hey, I really appreciate you like just reaching out to me and just like wanting to say what's up." Because like, and I did not know it at the time that like someone else was going through similar themes of loneliness, even though like in my situation, I was literally alone. But just for them to say, like to be vulnerable to say, "Hey, I was going through the same thing," you really never know what other people are going through.
And never believe that anyone, like everyone else around you, is not going through something.
Yeah.
They are. We're human. We're all struggling with something.
Yeah. And that's why things with social media can be a lie too.
It's why I like go through detoxes of no social media for months at a time. When I find myself comparing to people, I'm like, and it's time to deactivate.
Yeah. And kind of face reality of like we all have struggles.
Yeah. Social media is for posting your perfects.
Joy, where can people find you? Not your address, but like if you want people to follow you on
Instagram. I don't use my Instagram a whole lot right now. I'm setting up a Bookstagram account because I love reading books. It's going to be Shelf Help Joy when it gets set up.
I always ask people if they want people to find them, like where can they find you?
My couch. You can put that in there. I don't care. Actually, don't find me.
Okay. She's an introvert, ladies and gents. Are you okay if I ask you some rapid fire questions? Yeah. Who's the last person that you called?
You. Or client. Can't remember which one.
I think it was you. Me, because you couldn't find my office.
I couldn't find your building. Yeah, I called my client right before that.
How many books have you read this year?
174.
Where do you find the time?
My job allows me to read while I'm at work.
Oh, okay. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes.
Iced or hot or both?
Ooh, iced if it's hot outside. Hot sometimes if it's cold outside. Mostly iced.
Oh, nice. What's the perfect reading environment for you?
Alone.
TV show.
I like that too.
But like, do you like the sunny weather, raining weather, a coffee shop, indoors, outdoors?
Sometimes coffee shops, but that can also have too many people. But sometimes just my reading nook at home.
Nice.
I have a chair in my apartment with books that like literally surround me. They're on the walls.
How many books do you have in your apartment?
Ooh, I just did this. 519.
It's 520. Like a library.
Nope. That's 1,000 books. That's the goal.
Okay. Where's the furthest that you've traveled?
The furthest that I've traveled, I don't know if Haiti. Montana or Haiti, one of the two.
Haiti.
Yeah, I went to Haiti for a missions trip when I was going to a college high school. Or nope, college high school. That would be nope. I did do college high school. But that was a Christian school.
Okay. And then when you become a counselor, I know you kind of talked about this, but what population would you want to work with?
Addictions. Adults. It has to be adults.
Not children.
No, I love children, but the problem is I don't want to send them home to where their environment is not great.
Yeah, and their brain's still developing too, so that has so many different complexities with addiction too.
Yeah, especially addiction. I feel like I need people who are like 19 and older.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Jory, thank you so much for being on Mindi and the Mic. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.